Hey everyone, I'm doing some more from MakingStarWars.net, and tonight, there was a pretty fun leak that happened I don't know, maybe 2 hours ago now. The Star Wars Eclipse trailer leaked onto Facebook. The official account posted it. It looked like on accident. And then apparently they just said, okay, we'll just release it officially on YouTube, I guess. Especially, I guess there's some kind of video game awards thing, probably extreme sports, drinking Mountain Dew kind of stuff thingy. And they're supposed to, I think, premiere on that. But now they've put the video out. And I got to say, it looks pretty rad. I was pleasantly surprised by how good the High Republic era looks in the video. And because honestly, the High Republic content, it's been a giant turd. It's been boring. It's been a bunch of books that I say bring a book to read that book because it's so boring. And this is my vibe on that stuff. But boy, did they do a good job with the visuals on this. So, on the main show, or on our usual show, I should say, me and Rob were always kind of like, oh, the stuff was just terrible. It was not fun. It was just so boring. And then they released these concept art pieces, and it's a bunch of Jedi in white robes looking as boring as can be, like they're Jedi who were choir boys or something. And was not for me. Did not like it. But this trailer delivers and proves that things like Acolyte, Star Wars Acolyte, the new TV show coming to Disney Plus, is going to be pretty rad. And that it doesn't matter that stuff sucked, because that stuff almost always sucks, doesn't it? I mean, when you get down to it, the books and the comics, you'll have a couple of classic ones that keep you coming back for more. But how much of it is actually ever good? Not much. Now, this video game trailer, though, for a video game trailer, oh boy, is it fun. I mean, it really is. Let's I guess we'll watch it. I hope the sound is kind of at a good level. I don't want to make it too loud. I don't know if it's gonna like get me flagged from showing their thing, but this is from StarWars.com, and let's watch it together at normal speed first. So right here we got our Star Wars Blue Man group. We got an Eclipse on Extreme Mustafar. I don't know what that eyeball's about. I wonder if a lot of this stuff even actually matters, or if it's just trailer nonsense that's visually cool but has no actual meaning. Sometimes that stuff happens. And I'm assuming that you guys have already seen this. It'll be everywhere if it's not already. So that is a pretty cool asteroid field. We saw that shot in Mandalorian. Pretty much. That's how it happens in Star Wars now. Is that Cato Nemodia? Or is that place in Rogue One where everything looks like, look at those little monkeys. And that looks like that one dude from Rogue One. It has a lot of Rogue One vibes. Like kind of like a Rogue One meets Phantom Menace vibe to this trailer. Look at that Duros with one eye. He looks cool. Maybe it's Shiv's grandpa. There's little Yoda hanging out in the Jedi temple. Those religious dudes. Is that C-3PO? Or like, no, it's little eye things. I guess it wouldn't be C-3PO. Thought maybe without, earlier coverings. There's that eyeball watching the Eclipse. Pretty cool. And then, yeah, was that Kashyyyk? Blue Man group again. Those ships look cool. I do like those ships. Newt Gunray's grandpa. Oh, let's fight those. Are those the slavers from the Clone Wars? Those cat slaver bat people. I don't remember what they were, but they were in the Clone Wars. They were like Anakin, the one where they put Ahsoka in the slave girl outfit. Shot from Phantom Menace, pretty much. Blue Man group again. Phantom Menace shot. Phantom Menace shot. Blue Man group. Phantom Menace shot. Okay, a little extended there. Looks cool though. Blue Man group. Blue Man Group, Star Wars, Las Vegas. Get your tickets now. Okay, this was cooler than I thought it was going to be. So maybe there's some kind of like cultist of some kind that are doing a ritual during this eclipse or something, and they have summoned Black Tar Man. I don't know. Okay, let me see. So yeah, Cadence says, "Hey, really enjoyed the show. Just tuning in real quick, watching the hockey game with my fam." You know what? Star Wars is your family. Turn off the hockey game. Tell your family to leave. It's Star Wars time. No, I'm kidding. Thank you for stopping by. Darth Del Rio, I thought maybe it was Jeddah. You think maybe we're seeing Jeddah before it's being, imperialized and mined to nothing? Because that very well could be. There's one shot in Rogue One that I was thinking of too. When you see like that far away shot when Cassian and Jin and K2 before they get caught, there's one shot, and that one shot shows you the beauty of the city before it was taken over by the Imperials. And I think that you may be onto something, because it does look similar, and we do see those Tusken Raider kind of ladies, almost the religious people. I think they're red in the other one, maybe, but yeah, I think you may be onto something there. Kaden says, this looks like a studio that's not afraid to go all in with their creative vision. So let's be real about this though for a second. We didn't see any gameplay. So this could be a super expensive, beautiful trailer, which I am not knocking. I love what I see in that trailer. I don't know anything about the game whatsoever from this. I have no idea what to. It says it's the official cinematic reveal trailer, and it's cinematic. That's for damn sure. So it did its job, but it doesn't really tell me anything about the game. So I don't know what to expect. I mean, it could be the best Star Wars game ever. That's definitely the best Star Wars trailer I probably have ever seen from memory. It felt like a Star Wars film or stuff from a Star Wars film. Whereas like the Battlefront 2 stuff, which I did like too, it felt more comic booky for sure. Like this had a lot going for it. And I'm with you, kid. I love it too. I mean, it's a beautiful trailer. I'm not being super cynical, just to be clear, too. I'm not saying it's going to be a shit game or a bad game or even a good game. I don't know from this, but I know whoever is directing the trailers definitely has a future in this business. They're probably a huge person, and I just don't know anything about gaming, so I don't know who they are. But also, maybe you can touch on this. We have not seen an animated feature with this quality of CGI. Yeah, that's kind of something I've wanted for a while. Is that I don't know what the cost of something like this is compared to filming that in live action, quote live action, and rendering it out in CGI. But I always say I love those DC Comics Batman movies. I buy them whenever they come out usually. I like them, they're really good, and I would not be angry if Lucasfilm did this kind of stuff for 1 hour to 2 hour long movies, that aren't necessarily worth doing a whole series about, or worth doing when I say worth, I mean just the story just doesn't need that, like not everything needs to be a 2.5 hour or an 8-part or 16-part series. Some stories just can be told in a 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And if they did it in that kind of CGI, I would not mind. But I don't know what the cost is. For all I know, going that far into development on that stuff, it's so expensive and so far in, they might as well make it a film. But I don't know. Hey, Mr. Del Rio. Also love seeing prequel stuff. Glad they aren't shying away from it anymore. Yeah, me too. I mean, it really... it was a calculated risk, that with what they were doing. And it was, I don't think it was for the best. And I think this proves it visually. We lost out on some stuff because of that. And this proves it, but they've come around and we're there now, and that's good. So laugh a lot. I'm just going to take it. Yeah, I'm right. And then somebody from Chile, how's it going? And then, so everyone should be excited for this. But I mean, I really do think I I was at like the gameplay trailer, not gameplay trailer, the trailer reveal for like Star Wars Fallen Order. I was very neutral on it, honestly. I was not elated in any way. I was like, that looks cool. I'll play it. I'll have fun. My son loved that game, like really loves that game. Like, I think that's gonna like Fallen Order is gonna be one of those games when he's like 30, he goes back to play for nostalgia, you know. And but ooh, does this look so much better? I mean, it looks like where they're taking it, and you know, I had heard, I believe that this is going to be, you know, more story driven kind of game, and so maybe we're gonna essentially end up getting that, I'm you know, getting the movie idea that we were talking about a minute ago. Because if it does go that way, at the end of the day, people will take their gameplay footage and just streamline it into a, you know, 4-hour movie or whatever it needs to be, and you'll be able to watch it. So if you're not a gamer, in a weird way, this is kind of a huge freebie of something cool to watch, you know. And then Gareth Coker will score Eclipse. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I saw that name earlier. Somebody saying F Gareth Coker, and I was like, I don't know who that is. But it was a little melodramatic in a way. I am a little bit worried that if the game may not live up to the trailer in terms, because like when you just see eyeballs doing stuff, like does that happen in the story, you know, or is that all like mood spirit of the story stuff? I hope it's stuff from the game and stuff from the you know, whatever. But Caden says, do you not have a subscription button on your channel? Trying to figure out how to give you guys some dollars. Yeah, there should be a button at the top to become a subscriber. And if there isn't, I'll definitely by tomorrow show you how to do it. I might make a little ad so I don't have to be like, hey, support the channel every single time. I might just make a little thing I could play during the show or something. I don't know. I've been thinking about it, but thank you for trying. And hopefully, yeah, but there should be a button on the main page I think it's in the right-hand corner, and you're able to become a channel member there, or you could go to Patreon and just type in Making Star Wars, and you should see me that way, if whatever works for you. But thank you. I appreciate it. And you know, the show isn't free to make, and I appreciate the support. So Star Wars in Game says, looks like a powerful game engine running that. Yeah, I wish. Does anybody know what game engine is running that, or what is, you know, putting that out? I have to admit, I watched the trailer. Somebody sent it to me. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, I want to do a stream about it, but let me let it sink in for a few minutes, and I'll go grab my old Diet Dr. Pepper, which I need to get by throughout the day. And as I'm getting my Diet Dr. Pepper, driving back home, I'm thinking, wow, that game looks really beautiful. It's too bad you won't be able to probably play it until you're 50, Jason. You know, because I can't get a GPU for a computer anywhere. They cost way too much right now. And I have GeForce Now, so hopefully that's one way I can do it. But it's not, the GeForce Now isn't really that powerful. It's not as powerful as it could be. And then, you know, if this is a PlayStation or the newest Xbox, I can't get those either. Last time I saw, PlayStation was running around $4,000. And so I'm not really going to rob a bank to play Star Wars Eclipse. But hopefully by the time this comes out, we live in a different world, you know. Thad says, getting serious Dune vibes from this trailer. I'm intrigued. Yeah, I mean, I guess they are kind of at this point. Star Wars is they're kind of sisters, but Star Wars has stolen that sister's clothes many times, and then now I think it's kind of running back, and Dune is taking from Star Wars in terms of the design. They went heavily minimalist, I think, in that movie though. So Timer says Gareth Coker scored the Ori games, most recently Halo Infinite. He's one of the best right now. Okay, cool. Yeah, if people are, it's funny how like everyone has to have such a strong opinion. Like I said, I saw people going fuck Gareth Coker, and I'm just like, I was like, I guess that's the guy who does the music. Okay, but yeah, like it was it's pretty dramatic, but so yeah, you have to, you have to do it on, yeah, you have to do it on the old desktop. That's right. Yeah, you can't see it. So they really know how to help, don't they? Yeah, Darth Del Rio says this makes me excited for Acolyte, and I have to say I totally agree. Uh, oh, Cadence, Patreon is probably actually better in a way. I think the money goes to the Patreon ecosphere instead of like the Google one, which is maybe better, but whatever works for you ultimately. And thank you. Darth Arias was saying that this makes me excited for Acolyte, and like I have to say, I agree. I mean, I think Acolyte is going to I wouldn't be surprised if these things played into one another to some degree, because Acolyte is by and large designed by this point, I would have to imagine, and as it's getting ready to go in just a few months, so they're going to start doing builds pretty soon, and these things are informing one another, which is what kind of makes me laugh about the last, I don't know, years worth of High Republic stuff where we're seeing this art that's just so, like I said, it looks like it's from somebody's tabletop RPG when they could have really been. I mean, the concept art for this stuff, I mean, imagine how beautiful the work must have been. It's literally on par. Want me to jump on? Yeah, James, come on aboard, dude. Let me send you the little guest link for you. If I could do it without crashing my computer, we'll watch the trailer again. We'll take it down all slow, get slow and dirty with it, because why not? There's a lot to sift through on this one, right? And I'm sending you the an email right now. If whenever I am streaming, my Mac is super slow. All right, let me see. Hopefully, all right, good. You did come up when I put J. All right, I just sent you the link, James, and come on in and join me. That way, I'm not just a rambling crazy person. Then you guys are hearing what my internal monologue is like, and it's crazy. So let me see. If there will be Lucra Hulk ships and Nemodians in the Acolyte as well, I'm gonna lose my shit. Phantom Menace designs are so fucking cool. Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is, in a weird way, what the Old Republic was to the original Attack of the Clones era, where in a strange way it second guessed everything that was done at the time. It was just, let's second guess everything, and it definitely worked, because we're still talking about it like 20 years later. And this right here is, I feel like, in a weird way, is using the prequel stuff, taking it out of a kids movie. Hey, dude.
Hey, what's up?
Oh, so what'd you think?
Well, that was shocking. I hadn't heard anything about this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was like a very raw reaction.
Right?
Yeah, so at first I'm like, was this one of these fan-made trailers or something like that? And then I'm like, oh shit, no, it's Star Wars official. Yeah, but all the prequel content, like somebody said a little while ago, I was shocked to see that.
Yeah.
The one thing that kind of bugs me about this, and just kind of like a lot of Star Wars stuff in general, is that it seems a little over the top serious still.
Yeah.
And and I know Rob brings it up all the time. Well, where's the fun? And it does kind of worry me that it seems like Star Wars just takes itself too serious sometimes. So that's the thing that scares me about watching that. It's like it just looks like it might just be like too much over the top. But unfortunately, I think that's kind of what fans are craving. They would have a Phantom Menace with, 90 minutes of Darth Maul swinging a double-bladed lightsaber and think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that stuff worries me. But also I'm not a big gamer.
Right.
I actually just finally, like a week ago, I got to play Fallen Order for the first time.
Yeah.
And like I own an Xbox, kind of. But like when I say I own it, I have one that does not exist in this household.
Okay.
So, so I'm not a huge gamer at all, and I don't play a lot of video games. So all of a sudden I'm playing this thing, and I'm like, okay, where's the game? Because like I feel like I'm just watching a movie, and I was like, is this what video games are now?
Some of them are. Some of
yeah.
them, like Uncharted and stuff like that, there is a kind of like a gameplay element to it, but at the same time, you are having a cinematic interactive experience.
Yeah, and like Last of Us, I know I've seen a lot with that and the storyline. So even though I don't play, I'm like the worst nerd on the planet.
Yeah,
because like most of my nerdness, well, obviously Star Wars is a thing, but everything else I get like through osmosis of being a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get it. I mean, like my preferred way to play games for years, like in a strange way, I like people go, my kids just want to watch people on the Twitch machine, and I don't get it. But in a weird and I've said as much as well, but at the same time, I do get it because like when Resident Evil games came out, I actually never wanted to play them, but I was always down to hang out with a friend who's playing it and make jokes and drink beer or something while they're doing it. And it's a good time.
Yeah.
And so like on a game like this, though, I think you ultimately kind of win because somebody with a $4,000 graphics card before it was marked up, by the current time that we live in, is going to go and they're just going to play through the whole thing and play through it really beautifully. Hey, it's Puppy Dog.
Yeah, that'd be Akamaru there stealing the show.
Yeah, nice, beautiful dog.
Thank you.
Is going to go and like edit it into a movie for you. They're going to go through and they're going to cut out all of the mistakes, and they're just going to and then you'll be able to probably go on YouTube, watch it in 4K beautifully without having to spend $1 if you don't want to, and it's probably going to be a good time.
Yeah, it's funny because like with Fallen Order, I'd been avoiding that somehow. I've been able to basically avoid most of the spoilers from Fallen Order.
Yeah.
And now having played through it, it's like, well, I might just watch the trailers online and see all the cutscenes, and because that's all I really care about anyhow. And
yeah,
the gameplay is like, it's fun and everything and stuff like that. But I'm probably never gonna have the time to sit down and do this. So it's like I'll just watch it as a movie and be done with it.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cadence, for becoming a channel member, and I appreciate everybody who has. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Yeah, I was going to say that when it comes to the sort of cinematic side of these things, what they're doing here, if they want to do this, like I am with you to the extent, like I like my cheese ball mixed with my super serious. I like Akira Kurosawa with the Muppets. Like that's how I generally prefer my Star Wars as well. And that's the Star Wars I was raised on. But if we are going to go into that super serious, like, then there's like 14 red lightsabers kind of stuff, I do think the gaming side is the place probably to do it. Yeah, so if they're doing that here and not on Disney Plus, I think it could be a happy meeting of I don't know if genre, but just that taste, Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah, and then like Acolyte, if we didn't know anything about Acolyte, and just based off of this, you think Acolyte is going to be just that, but I don't think you get Leslie Headland to go in and make a movie that feels like it's a Mountain Dew dude show. You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be different.
And actually in the show earlier today, because you were talking about the Acolyte for a bit, and I commented that I think Robert Eggers would be a great guy to bring into a project like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're doing a show about the Sith, I think a guy that does like that occult kind of stuff really well, I think that's one of those exceptions where I think Star Wars would be good if you did a show that would really focus on the Sith. That slapstick and Muppets is probably going to be like totally like in conflict with that.
Yeah.
And you see a little bit of that in the Clone Wars, where they had Dooku and Palpatine doing these like incantations over a cauldron kind of thing, very sorcery. Yeah. So I think it'd be kind of cool if they went like whole hog into that kind of genre with the Sith. And it could be something interesting, but still fit into Star Wars.
Yeah, and they purposefully played. So they played the J.J. Abrams ambiguity game with the prophecy, with most of the Sith magic stuff. We at the end of the day, we know there's a prophecy. Somebody's going to come and bring balance, and the Sith bring down the veil of the dark side over the galaxy, and the Jedi can't sense the Sith presence. That's essentially, in a nutshell, what we know about it. And then we had things like Darth Plagueis's book, where they're doing weird like stuff where they're like killing this Bith guy and bringing him back until he's a madman, you know. And they're like, okay, we can only do it so many times, and then it doesn't work anymore. And so like, oh, okay, if Vader was to do that to Padme, she'd be a little loony Padme. He can't do it. So, but it's fun, and like this place, this show in this kind of era might be able to lay foundations of stuff that plays into that stuff that they can take after the six episodes of the Skywalker saga, the main Skywalker saga, and play with like in a fun way.
And I think one of the things that really worked about the Plagueis novelization is that because that if you talk to James Luceno, that book was canceled initially. Like he was greenlighted for it, and they said no, it was shelved. And I think it was Howard Rothman that kind of went over the original manuscript and it kind of basically said, where did you get all this stuff on the Force? Yeah. And James Luceno kind of explained his understanding of the Force, and he said, nah, let's talk to George about this. And George got involved with the Plagueis novel, at least in terms of kind of giving a better understanding to him about how that works. And that's where you get like, like he was upsetting the balance, and people were trying to like, forces were aligned to come and kill him and take him out. And Plagueis basically knew like, he was fucking with things, and that was going to cause problems for him. So I hope they don't get away from that, because I think that's the one thing that, and especially with George out of the picture, is that you had a through line with this stuff where it all made sense. And then you get something like where James Luceno tries to write a novel and doesn't have that understanding, that fundamental understanding, and it goes off in a weird tangent for people like you and I that actually like are sadly really invested in this.
Way too invested.
Well, a little bit, that's my hope. It's that they can at least get a cohesiveness to it.
Yeah.
So it's not all kind of mucked up.
That's I remember when I got the book early for Plagueis.
Yeah.
In my copy, it said it had a sticker on it saying that they did the mass release didn't have, and it was, this book represents like something like the ultimate vision of George Lucas and is something about the future of Star Wars canon going forward. But it's interesting when you know what Lucas was considering for Episode 7 at the time. So in a weird way, it seems like at one point that book was pulling into the early foundations of, okay, we're going to start reorganizing, taking things more seriously moving forward here. And then, but when it comes out, that it doesn't have that sticker, and then they sell to Disney and very soon after, and it's kind of just a different direction.
Well, I don't even think it was the foundation necessarily for the sequels, because, and actually was the Archives book that just came out last year, the Paul Duncan one, the big one of the prequels.
Yeah.
Lucas had mentioned that he was going to go heavy on the midichlorians and the Wills in Episodes 2 and 3, but he backed off after the kind of that backlash from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So I think for 7, 8, 9, he probably said, fuck it. and was going to go all the way on that stuff. He was going to go all in and
Yeah.
not hold back. So I think that was always kind of there. And that was always kind of in George's mind in terms of how he was going to handle that. The Plagueis novel, I have mixed feelings on, just because, well, especially now, because there's a lot of stuff. If you want to go full canon, Cypher Dyas was Palpatine's apprentice before Darth Maul.
Mm-hmm.
So are they going to go with that storyline? Because that's George's canon.
Well, no. In George ended up putting him in to the Clone Wars,
right?
And telling the backstory of him being the dude who gets the who knows that if the Sith are doing stuff, and then gets killed. Remember that Close Encounters episode where you see him like all dead in the sand?
So in the Paul Duncan book, George specifically states that Cypher Dyas was an apprentice to Palpatine before Darth Maul. Yeah.
It's been years since I read the book, so I'm starting to read it, I think.
So that would so now it's like, well, that's real interesting. How the fuck does that work? Because that dude was on the Jedi Council.
Yeah.
So now it's like, well, I want to see that story. I want to see how a Sith apprentice was on the Jedi Council for all those years, and then ends up getting killed by. So I mean, you could do a whole series on the Sith just based off of all like the kind of drama bullshit they had going on with, you had Cypher Dyas running around, but then how does Maul become the apprentice? Sometime in between those two, but then he's obviously grew with Dooku at that same time. But then Dooku, right. I mean, that's a whole series unto itself. And but it sounds like they're going to scrap that for what they're doing now. So
I mean, but you never know. I mean, with what we have, I mean, we don't know how all this High Republic jazz ends up closing out and leaving the climate for the Phantom Menace to happen. It's like I got a feeling that that they're not going to make Palpatine's plan so simple as it was like, wouldn't it be cool if you just like became the president of everything, and then we're like, I'm the president now, and then we can just kill the Jedi. Like, yeah, it's a pretty good idea. We'll just do that. They kind of like, I felt like in the Plagueis novel tried to make that into a big deal, like make it harder, make it more of a thing than what we got from the films. And so I have to assume that since the High Republic is thriving at its zenith or whatever, and then we're going to see it start to dip down into the garbage Newt Gunray cesspool that we saw in Phantom Menace. So but you do. I also thought it was like, I don't know, is it cool or is it not that we see Trade Federation starships and they're kind of the same? Like in a little way, I didn't need them to be radically redone. Yeah. But with 200 years, I would think maybe they got a little spoiler or something, on the back, or just something like that. Maybe changed them up a little bit.
Well, and I was wondering about the timeline of that too when I saw that.
Well, I mean, High Republic is usually, from what we've been getting, is about 200 years before Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
and then the Acolyte series is at the end of that.
Yeah, and that's so basically 50, right?
50 years before Phantom Menace?
Right, for Acolyte?
Oh, I thought it was still 200 years before Phantom Menace.
No.
Oh, really? It's only 50 years before?
I mean, someone in the chat might know, but so far as I know, Acolyte was supposed to be pretty close or much closer.
I was under the impression that they were only giving, like, it's at the end of the High Republic era.
Yeah.
And the era that they're working in primarily is the 200 years. So I thought it was going to be like the capstone to the writing stuff we got, and it would be.
And maybe I'm misinterpreting, because I think maybe they said like the end of like the High Republic is like 50 years before Phantom Menace. Yeah, so maybe the era runs through that time period. So maybe,
because if it does do that, I mean, the series could literally end with Palpatine's birth. If that's as far as it goes, essentially, you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would be cool if the Acolyte would eventually just spin off into like a Plagueis series, and then that would kind of. And I mean, I think it easily could be a whole. I would like to see it as a movie series, honestly, where you do like a trilogy before the prequels, of a younger Qui-Gon Jinn, kind of his travels, and the Sith kind of doing their thing, below the surface, and maybe a Jedi that
Yeah.
doesn't survive the encounter with them to go back to be able to tell the Jedi and kind of his story. There's enough, I think, material there that you could make an interesting story out of.
It does feel like if they flesh out this whole era, and then they want even more connectivity between the two, it does seem like that would be a logical connective story piece for eras to like really link it in. But really quickly, Cadence wants the badge. I'm gonna give you one more than that. I'm just gonna deputize you the sheriff of Making Star Wars City. Okay, so you get the badge, star. But let's watch the trailer in super slow mode so we can see what's going on and what we're looking at here, because it's always fun to watch things. Should I try the 0.5? This is a long trailer. 0.5 is probably a good speed.
Yeah.
So all right, then I'm going to turn the sound pretty much down because we don't really need to hear the Blue Man Group again, right?
And Darth Del Rio says he remembers Acolyte being 50 as well. So
okay,
I might have been right about that.
Yeah, you probably are. I'm not dying on a hill for it or anything.
Nor am I.
Yeah. So are these Sith? I guess is the other question, because all we know right now is Star Wars Eclipse is the newest adventure in the High Republic era, now early in development by Quantic Dream. That early in development is an important, I think, assertion or little quote there to take into account that a lot of this stuff might really be a lot of nonsense. I mean that in a good way, but it might be like how Gareth Edwards went and shot a bunch of stuff from Rogue One that looks like Kanye videos and none of it's in the movie.
This could be like, from the people that brought you 1313.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
God. And Ragtag had the same level of development. Like, this is the first time that they're actually getting to it. But this very Attack of the Clones right here, we got like the Attack of the Clones asteroid field meets the Mandalorian. I don't know what you call that, breaking down in space shot. Yeah. Very I'm looking world. And is that Jeddah during its prime? It does look like that one shot, but
I'm not seeing the video on my screen. So is it? Are you?
Oh, you're not.
Yeah. So I mean, if you want to watch by yourself and comment,
you know what? Sometimes I just watch stuff by myself and let everyone. That's why you're here.
It's got to be a reason.
Okay. Take it back.
Cool. All right.
Blue Man Group is playing. Yeah, these guys. They got to be. There got to be some kind of cultist.
Some Magic Dragons video. I don't know.
And then that's a Mustafar back when it was serious, I guess. But yeah. This really does feel like. I mean, it by itself doesn't really feel like Star Wars when you just look at this. It does look like it's like a '90s music video by Tool or something,
or fan film or something. Yeah, it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah. I do like the idea though of using the cultist drums to cut back and forth through and to make it a cohesive I guess experience or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, so this is what I'm saying right here. This is the very Attack of the Clones looking asteroid field with how the lights playing into the asteroids, which they couldn't do during Empire Strikes Back, but boy did they do it.
As someone that taught astronomy, these always bugs me with these shots like this, because I'd always have to tell children this is not what space looks like. Planets are not that close to each other.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? That's shit crashing into each other in real life. But
right.
But that's neither here nor there. That's just me.
Yeah, I didn't. Is that a little Shizor guy? What happens if I make this big?
Ooh.
Does it look better on your side?
Yeah.
Okay.
That might be a little Shizor dude.
Yeah.
You might have something there.
Maybe. Hold on, let me see.
It's a great shot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it does have the vibes of Jedha from Rogue One in the one shot where it doesn't look all jacked up, but I really can't tell because it's so yeah, it just has that Rome meets an Asian culture. At first, when I first saw this, I thought that was Hondo and Naka, and I was like, "What's Hondo?" No, and I'm like, "No, it's not Hondo."
I think it's Star Wars Santa as Hondo and Naka.
It is Star Wars Santa with the little pod race glasses on from the Fan Menace 3D. Remember those?
There you go. Yeah, I totally forgot.
I still got
some Rhodian dude in the side here.
Yeah, a little Rhodian dude. We got some little fuzzy monkeys. They kind of look like a cross between those owls Dave Filoni's always putting in shit and a little quacking lizard monkey.
Or a Furby.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars Furby.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's reminds me of that one dude from Rogue One.
Was it Radis?
Radis. I was like, how long do they live? Could that be Radis?
Could be.
But probably not Radis. Probably just a generic idea. These are probably not even characters. They're probably just like cool designs used for the trailer that don't have any meaning.
He's Fishman.
Yeah, I mean, this is early development.
It looks just like Radis, though.
Yeah. It pretty much is. It probably is based off of Radis either way. And this is Zuvio.
Or that dude from Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's funny. All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's almost the same shot from Rogue One,
right?
You know, look, who are these guys?
They look kind of like the early concepts for the Royal Guards.
Yeah,
from the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
but I'm sure they probably have those like squared off like Jedha looking Colt things on the front, but that's my assumption. Those aren't the same guys that I was asking if it's the slavers, are they? I wonder if those are the guys from later on. You know, later on when we see the guy I was asking if it was the cat guy from Clone Wars who was the slaver.
Yeah.
Come on, see. I can just use spacebar. Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's clearly going to be Cad Bane's dad.
That's Rad Bane. Cad Bane's dad.
That's Auto Cad Bane.
and right there's Star Wars Santa with his glasses on again. Selling some illegal contraband Furbies at the Christmas season at a marked up price. Okay, so is that just a little speeder or is it a pod?
Ooh, that might be a pod.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it's too hard to tell. It's probably a speeder, but it's too hard to tell. But that is a beautiful shot, though.
Man, they've come such a long way. If I was born a generation later,
right?
Yeah.
Well, if you were born a generation earlier, you might have had this on the side of a van.
Right.
Airbrush. You'd be like, "Hey, Jason, come over. Can you airbrush this sweet ass idea I have for like a weird like yak kind of thing, looking up at a moon with like some rocks and like a bitchin' lake?" And I'd be like, "Sure, dude, let's do it, man."
It's like a Led Zeppelin cover or something.
And here's Yoda going, "Why can't I die? I'm so old, but I won't die." Yeah. I was kind of curious. I don't remember enough, but I'm like, are those the same chairs from the Phantom Menace era? Have those same people been on the council the whole time? I'm
gonna say they're different.
You're like, Yoda's is the same, right?
Yeah, Yoda's the same. Mace Windu's looks the same. Ki-Adi-Mundi, but then once you get past that, I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah. Poor Yoda. It's kind of funny today. I was like, because I had heard so much stuff, man, about Yoda being involved in the High Republic, one of the incentives for wanting to even do it. And I was like, today on the show, I was like, Yoda's going to be all up in this stuff. And then here he is. They Easter egged him in, just to let you know he will be there.
Of course, they got to milk him for everything.
Yeah.
So I just hope that if they just shoehorn him in for no reason,
No, he's going to be. I think he's going to be one of the prominent Jedi in the whole thing. So I'm sure they can make it work. My only like want or whatever is it would be nice if Yoda held a different perspective, and by the end of the High Republic, he had a different one, but it was the wrong one. And that's kind of why we get to the Phantom Menace, because he is misguided now. That if is at the end of this he gets that hubris that leads to their downfall.
Yeah, well, I think one of the interesting theories when people talk about like, well, how did he and Mace Windu know that there's only 2 Sith Lords if Bane started the tradition, but they thought the Sith were wiped out?
Wikipedia.
It's clearly, yeah. So it might be an interesting thing that for some reason there are certain Jedi that knew that secret but didn't let it out. Right. Or if some reason why they had that information, but it wasn't common knowledge. I don't know where you go with that, but I mean, it's at least it's a germination of a starting point of some kind of idea.
Yeah. I mean, because clearly there's a story opportunity there.
Yeah,
and hopefully they are going to jump on it. I mean, and this is early, right? Is what they say in the description. This is all early stuff, and so with that in mind, I gotta say this probably is drawing from Acolyte, like heavier than we would think. I'm hoping anyway.
Well, because obviously, like Project Luminous is what started the whole High Republic thing, and that was way before Leslie Headland was involved. So you got to wonder. And you get worried because when you don't have a George Lucas there and you start, okay, we've got this project and now we're bringing in this other person to work on this project who's working on another part of this project. You get a little nervous that there's not going to be a lot of cross communication, or you see it all the time in Hollywood. You talk to people that work on movie productions. It's like, oh yeah, the art director is like, oh, I think it should be this, and the director thinks it should be this, and the screenwriter wanted this, and nobody's on the same wavelength. And if there's not like a central figure that can kind of keep everybody in check, like a George Lucas, everybody's kind of going, fuck you, I'm doing what I want. Yeah. And so I hope that's not the case. I hope there's some kind of cohesiveness to all of this. That's a central figure that's got the vision and keeping everything, all cohesive throughout.
Yeah. I will say, however that ends up shaking out, people who are making this game, which is Quantic Dream, and Leslie Headland are going to be the ones who define it. No matter how many books or comic books they write.
Yep.
We see right here, this really literally elevated the High Republic stuff by quite a bit. Just seeing this.
Oh,
even though it doesn't really, live up to it.
Right. Well,
anyway.
Yeah. And I mean, I have this argument with fans all the time. They're like, oh, they should have followed Heir of the Empire. Heir of the Empire is so popular. I'm like, Heir of the Empire sold as many copies of that book in 10 years as Phantom Menace sold tickets in its first day.
Yeah.
I'm like, so as big as you think Heir of the Empire is, and it was big in terms of novels, it's shit compared to the movies. Or the video games.
Oh, I mean, one episode, a successful episode of the Clone Wars, I think peaked at maybe 6 million views, but usually had about 3 to 4 million.
Yeah.
I mean, and just like to contextualize that, that one episode of the Clone Wars really probably had more eyes on it and memories generated than maybe not than a whole book. Maybe that's not a good analogy, but where I'm going with it. Like the impact of the visual medium is just so much greater and
huge.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think this is like a couple and they're kind of like, maybe are thinking about getting divorced, but she wants to stay in because of the kids, and he's like, well, I want to stay in because she paints my helmet blue for me, but it's just the fire's gone.
Well, knowing Lucasfilm's usual, we got to have cameos in there. This is clearly Dr. Evazan from the Cantina in disguise now.
When he was hot. When he was hot.
Yeah, before his face was jacked up. Clearly, the other one's Walrus Man.
Yeah.
He's got the same walk, you know.
So dumb. There's 4 of them.
Oh shit!
And then, yeah, we got a C-3PO-esque protocol droid.
That's cool. I like bringing that callback back.
Yeah, like I'm seriously curious if this could be C-3PO.
God, please, God, don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop trying to shoehorn everybody into everything.
Yeah. I mean,
Stop
he has these like little side things on here that make me think not. And he
He's
doesn't
right.
like, and the center is different. I got a feeling if it was 3PO, they would keep that center thing, that center module he has like consistent.
We know actually C-3PO was built by Palpatine, who then planted him on Tatooine so that Anakin could find him. It's all part of his plan.
They're all a family, you guys. They're all a family. But yeah, I do like seeing the droid without the coverings.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, it is pretty badass looking actually.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool design.
Remember when they put out the visual dictionary for episode 4, like about a year after the special editions, and they had some of the legs and the arm for that 3PO. You were like, is that it? But then later on you saw it, you're like, yeah, it is it. Oh yeah, look you can see it's like little fan or little circular thing spinning in the center there. Pretty cool. Total eclipse of the heart. Oh, that this is when you start to roll. Okay.
I love this. That's a beautiful shot.
It looks like what's his name? It's not, but
it's a weak way. Sora Bulk or whatever his name is.
Oh, is that who it is?
No, but well, who knows? I mean, again, they try to shoehorn everybody into these things.
Yeah, I mean, if it's depending on when it is, because it could be we're saying 200 to 50 years before Phantom Menace. So I was thinking it look like Quinlan Voss, but and then are they dueling? Like I want to kill you, or are they practicing?
I'm guess practicing because it looks like blue and green.
Yeah, that's my take too.
So yeah,
I like that sun though. The sun looks pretty good, but I hope they have some SPF 95,000 on that planet. Yeah, those I like the starfighter ships. They look pretty cool.
Yeah,
that looks a lot like Kashyyyk right here, like a port on Kashyyyk, maybe.
Could be.
You know, when you see like where did they film the actual planet? Was it Thailand?
It's like Thailand or China, somewhere in that eastern area. Yeah.
Yeah. And anyways, the stuff looks a lot like that, but yeah, pretty neat looking though. Blue Man group is back. They got tattoos. They're buff. It looks like if Drax joined the Blue Man group.
Right. Yeah. Like Florence and the Machine concert, you know.
Yeah. Oh man,
they're playing "Shake It Off" right now. You know?
Like you know what? I really don't like this, but I don't want to seem like I don't get it. Like I don't want it to be above me, so I'm gonna act like I like it for a little bit. Then you know what? Though I don't.
You know, it's one of those things that's like it's weird. It doesn't seem very Star Wars-y, but it's one of those things that like you always get worried about getting stuck in a rut, and so it's stuff like this that sometimes it's like, okay, you're really kind of pushing it here, and so I'm kind of mixed about it.
Yeah, I mean, for all we know, they might simply just be in this trailer. This may have no bearing on anything or be anything whatsoever in the game, and. Yeah, and if it isn't about this cultist ceremony, that's like shamanistic, you know, resurrecting the zombie from Return of the Living Dead, the Tarman.
The Urukai.
You know, I guess I'm cool with that. I guess. I mean, it looks pretty cool. It would be kind of cool though if like Logray was there. You know, it's like smoking his peace pipe, going like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this right now. I'm a medicine man."
The dude from Jabba's band joins in.
Could this be Ilum?
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it is a why not, yeah, kind of thing,
Yeah.
but it could just be a snow planet with water. Is that water, right? Yeah, that's definitely water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a snow planet? Is that snow or steam? I think it's snow. And right there, that's Newt Gunray, Newt Gunray's cousin-in-law.
Newt Gingrich.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan.
That's such a George Lucas move right there. That would
It's
be
classic Lucas.
Yeah.
But
Ronnie Reagan.
Lucas hates the SJWs. Right here, he's got 3 colors going. I wonder if that has any. If that's just a colorful design. Is he kind of a clown of these guys, or does it have any significance?
Well, I loved how they tried to make him look meaner. You know what it reminds me of? Like back, God, what was it? With the Miami Dolphins, they redid their Dolphins logo.
Right.
And all they did was they went from a smiling dolphin to a snarling dolphin. And it's like, it's a fucking dolphin. Come on.
Yeah, if you want to be badass, maybe don't be the dolphins.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because dolphins are lovable, sometimes rapey creatures, but still very lovable, you know?
Right,
Flipper is a friend.
Just own it, because there's nothing more embarrassing than like having like a dolphin with like a rainbow behind it and then getting your ass kicked by those people.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Just embrace it, you know?
Yeah. Or get that guy who paints the vans from earlier and have him airbrush a sweet dolphin and just be like, you know what? It's cool, baby.
Oh yeah. There you go.
But yeah, he does look like he is a Newt Gunray who smelled a fart. He definitely has that look on his face. Or maybe yeah.
He looks like he's out of that, what was that, Communion? The Alien movie?
Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely gonna probe the hell out of Christopher Walken if he gets the
chance. So that's what those radar dishes are for on the Trade Federation ships.
and then right here we got what looks like almost reminds me of the Rancor or the Wampa Talon lightsaber, but it's not. But the shape is very similar to that concept art.
Yeah,
probably unrelated, but yeah, very very. God, it's just like when you see like a lighting scheme applied to some of the things we've seen in their other High Republic stuff, it makes such a difference.
It's huge.
Yeah. You know, it's everything. And that's why that everything that we've seen so far has just been kind of, but this looks fun. It's like, who are these furry guys? Why are they going to kick their ass? I don't know.
This looks professional.
It's like they tried. I'm honestly not super crazy about the headgear on that stuff. It looks like she's the Empress from the Neverending Story or something, and I just feel like if you try to fight with it, it's just going to fall right off. It doesn't, look very. Star Wars has always been that interesting place when fantasy, where form meets function, and it literally has absolutely no function to a Jedi whatsoever, as far as we know, and they have to make it have one, and that doesn't feel very Star Warsy when you need a kyber crystal to have the Force. Like, remember the original Star Wars concept of whoever has the kyber crystal is the all powerful, thing. I don't think they're going that way. But if it's I don't know if this has RPG qualities, but if it does, I guess I could buy into why that stuff would play into it, because you need some agility or something. But
it just seems like the Star Wars equivalent of like the tribal tattoos. Remember when that was big, or the barbed wire? Like, it's not going to age well.
Dude, you know what hasn't aged well at all is my Max Rebo tramp stamp. I mean, it looks terrible. Now, it's better when I got it. Now he's like, his piano was very, very stretched. But yeah, I mean, just because, got to be critical about something. I'm going to say this is probably the dumbest shot in the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, so what? And then, so are those the guys who were walking through the city earlier on? Like, they almost remind me of, like, I'm getting like vibes of stuff. I mean, obviously, like, the helmets are kind of playing on a Vader motif and the designs to some very, very tiny degree.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I can't not see Shizor and some of the way that the V's used and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, are those? I can't remember what the planet Shizor's people are from. I know they're Black Sun. I don't remember what they're called.
The Fallines.
The falling, yeah. Are these
Yeah.
falling cats?
I don't know. Can you smell them?
I mean, I'm very,
getting off.
I mean, I really want to have an orgy with all of them right now. and honestly, I don't care if Han Solo knows.
I feel these nipples right now. I mean,
listen, Han's frozen. Okay, like what Han doesn't know won't hurt him. Is all I'm saying. But yeah, they do kind of they do kind of look like they could be like the Falleen.
The outfits are a little too Flash Gordon-y for me.
Yeah, they're Darth Vader Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, there's elements of it that I really do like, but like the shoulder pads are so blocky that they once again the form and function isn't adding up design wise for me.
Yeah, the best description I heard for Star Wars is ugly but functional.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Y-wing is not a pretty ship.
Yeah,
but it's a cool design.
Yeah,
and it's this weird thing of like a cool design, but it's ugly as shit.
Yeah, like yeah. I'm not a car guy, but when you take off like the hood of a car on like a muscle car and you see like all of the stuff on the inside, it looks cool. Yeah, like it looks cool, you know, and it doesn't really like look like it makes any sense. Like it just looks cumbersome and stupid. Like whoever decided to buy this for their whole army must have had shit for brains. Like that's my takeaway.
And I'm cool with like how the Techno Union has kind of like a Jules Verne kind of vibe to it, and you know, obviously Naboo has that Art Nouveau thing going, and so
with like wood and tech together and that stuff is fun.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe this is like a different culture and this is their thing, and I'm cool with like introducing, you know, because you get a little too rigid sometimes with some people. Like it's a hard thing because it's like you want to honor what's there, but you want to kind of push the boundaries too.
Yes.
But but this I think kind of is not honoring anything and pushing the boundaries maybe too much.
Yeah, like I honestly feel like 90% of the issue are the shoulder pads.
Yeah,
like classically, I feel like Star Wars what they would have done was maybe let him have one of those, but taken the other one off.
Yeah,
something that makes it kind of like gives it, you know, like the Sand Trooper does that kind of thing. You'll see that like in the ARC Trooper kind of design where it sort of has that, but it's not purely symmetrical, and that's kind of maybe the problem. Like they added a little silver band here. That doesn't really do it though.
No.
Yeah, it's strange. But if he has bionic robot arms and he chokes people out with that using those shoulder pads, then I'm all about it. Huh? He looks like green at a distance, and then he looks blue when he gets up closer. I can't really tell.
Yeah.
Very Attack of the Clones moment right there with the use of light and the masses of troops, but in a good way. Like, you know, not like necessarily like a derivative kind of thing. It's a cooler version, or not a cooler, but a more modern take on that. Yeah, we got more guys playing drums. And then this stuff right here is just those cool ships. You know, I think it was it's funny, when I was a kid, we had a Cracker Barrel near us. In California, they've been pretty much gone as far as I know for years.
Wow,
but when I was a kid, we had Cracker Barrel, and I know other states have it still. And our menus on the inside, somebody drew X-Wing fighter. The menu had X-Wing fighters on the inside, and the ships in Battlestar Galactica, and some of the ships were like an amalgamation of the two. But they were straight up just X-Wing fighters and the Battlestar Galactica ships.
That's exactly where I was going with that. Yeah.
And one of them in the Cracker Barrel menu from when I was a kid looked just like this. I dig it.
Yeah, it's very maybe John Dykstra's back.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, hey, can I have my old job back now that you know Lucas ain't here? They're like, all right, yeah, come on in.
Or maybe they're like, fuck you, John Dykstra, we're stealing from you now.
Yeah. Yeah, I was always kind of interested and never really got a clear answer on how John Dykstra clearly what he did was kind of fucked. He took the Dykstra Flex cam that he named after himself that Lucas paid to have designed for Star Wars, and then took it to other productions, started making new ones, and then they're like, "Whoa, that's our tech. You can't just do that." And we paid for it. We didn't pay for you to go develop your future. We paid for it for Lucasfilm. And then they had a big falling out. But Ralph McQuarrie straight up jumped ship and started drawing for those people too. And I was wondering, how did Ralph get off with that? It was just, I'm a freelance artist and I've always have been, and that's just them's the bones, and that was the difference.
You know, in hindsight, because it was the craziest thing when I met Ralph McQuarrie. It wasn't like anything special or anything. It was like he was literally at a con that's like down the block from me.
Yeah,
and it was back in the year they had the Men Behind the Mask tour.
Yeah,
with like Peter Mayhew and Jeremy Bullock and all of them, right?
Yeah,
and then Ralph McQuarrie's there, and I'm like, fucking Ralph McQuarrie. That's like he's one of the holy trinity of Star Wars. It's Lucas, him, and John Williams. That's the big three to me,
right?
And so I'm going there super psyched that, you know, maybe I'll get to meet Ralph McQuarrie. The fucking line for the Men Behind the Masks for their signatures, out the goddamn door.
Right.
Ralph McQuarrie's like sitting by himself in a corner.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like nobody's fucking there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I couldn't believe it. So I sat there the whole day just talking to Ralph McQuarrie. I got a shit ton of stuff down here, like signed by him.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's probably worth a fortune now. At that time, it's like, okay, Jerry Bullock's a cool guy, but I mean, Jerry Bullock or Ralph McQuarrie, it's an easy choice.
Yeah,
but man, so I got to ask him a ton of questions. I didn't even think about asking him about Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah,
man.
There's this opportunity. In the Making a Return of the Jedi book, there's this point where he talks about he's like drawing Ewoks, and he's like, I had this cabinet I wanted to make. Is that like a cabinet or a box? I can't remember. He's all, what books I really wanted to finish. He's all, do I want to do this or do I want to do that? He's all, I really wanted to do that. I wanted to go work on the cabinet, and so I quit. And I was like, yeah, I think you earned it.
Yeah,
you know, at that point.
Yeah, because it was just before.
Cadence, if you want to jump on now, you can jump on now. Just let me know. Send me an email right now, and I'll send you the link. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. It's your show, man.
No.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, I asked him because it was just before when they were going to production on the prequels. I was like, "He working on the prequels," and he was like, "Nah." He's like, "I don't want to be that old guy sitting in a corner. All these guys are doing all this great, wonderful work." So he kind of felt like he was not the level of a Doug Chiang.
Yeah,
which is kind of weird. So he just was like, "Nah, I'm too old for this shit."
Yeah. I mean, his I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. There's like such like an industrialist, but a romantic side like to it at the same time. That is just like completely magical. And I don't even necessarily like, I was thinking about this the other day, like when they do concept art today, they really try to imply and tell a story in it. And I was, when I was wondering, I was like, did Ralph McQuarrie try and tell as much story as the modern artists do? You know, in a weird way, I think not. I think like it was just completely like I feel like the modern artist, and it's not a knock, it's just different. But I feel like the modern artist, like you are sold an idea, and you get the idea very, very quickly, and it's like very bold and clear what it is. And the Ralph McQuarrie stuff was just very much like dun 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 dun, and who knows what the story is.
Well, honestly, I think it's kind of like what George was saying about like when the new technology comes in movies, and it's all of a sudden it's look what I can do.
Yeah.
And like all of a sudden like bullet time became like in every movie, and it wasn't like, oh, this is a great tool, I could use it for this. It was just like, let's just fucking throw it in there.
Yeah.
So, and I think kind of concept art kind of went the same way, because all of a sudden now, I mean, it's amazing the shit they can do. I mean, if you've seen these guys, and what was cool about it, I'm trying to remember, you know, I get Eric Tiemens and Ryan Church mixed up all the time. I think it was Ryan Church, and he was talking about how he still paints on canvas with oil paints, because there's something, you know, very different about that. And he's like, yeah, I could sit down with a tablet and you can emulate brushes with all this stuff and on the tablet, and it's great. And he's like, but you kind of have to have that feel and that knowledge of painting and doing that by hand and carry that with you into your work. And I think it shows in his stuff.
Yeah.
And you can tell where he definitely embraces the technology. There's stuff he does that clearly is enhanced by it. But but I think too many people are reliant on it as opposed to using it as a means to an end.
Yeah. Yeah, and they do so much, and we see so very little of it. Even when when I get leaks and stuff like that, there's still, it's like, who knows how much they actually made? It's probably tons upon tons, and so it's a little done so much differently today, which Rob handles explains pretty well in the show when he's on every day. Mm-hmm. Star Wars the Game says those are little animals in the baskets. Laugh out loud. All right, so it's an email anyways. Okay, I'm going to send you, let me see. Okay, I think I got it right here. Here, if you want to come on now, you can come on now. I'm sending you the link if you want to join us. Always go. Rick Jones said it's Chad Bane. No girls will go out with me because Chad Bane is always stealing them with his strong jaw.
Can we roll it back? I think he was drinking a Monster.
It was definitely no. We don't even need to. He was drinking Monster. He had a Monster Energy drink shirt on. Yeah. I think. Yeah. The subtitles said YOLO. You can't really hear it in the sound mix though.
His buddy Kyle was behind him. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the hubris of the Jedi Council could be due to the happenings surrounding the High Republic timeline. Yeah, that's kind of my thinking, is that it, I mean, you see it across like the whole board, like Ki-Adi-Mundi and the Phantom Menace is like, oh, that's impossible. It's been 1,000 years.
And I think that they would be smart to kind of explain the whole idea of like, oh, you can't have attachments, there's no marriage and all that stuff, as to something happened in the past that scared the shit out of the Jedi to be like, all right, new rule, no freaking relationships whatsoever.
Yeah.
And to kind of tie that into explaining why some of that dogma was there.
Right. Maybe they all started getting derpy Jedi babies from generations of inbreeding. That's how we got Baby Yoda. He's like, I'm being 50. I'm a baby still. Bill Miller, I got my my Return of the Living Dead reference with the tar guy at the end. I love that one. Are you a fan of that one at all? Return of the Living Dead?
Not a huge zombie movie fan. Sorry.
No, me either. Honestly, I was, but then the zombie popularity hit that streak 15 years ago or whatever, and I got totally burned out on it. But Return of the Living Dead is the only one I like because it's punk rockers versus zombies, and it's hilarious at the same time. But when I was a teenager, my friend got mushrooms and was like, let's take mushrooms and watch a fucked up movie. I'm like, okay. So we did. And honestly, I don't think we really took enough, but it was a bit weird because what happened was we watched Return of the Living Dead, and when the tar man comes out, it just looked fake. Everything instead of it being this ultimate visual experience, like I was expecting, everything just looked fake. I just saw the visuals for what they were. They had no emotional meaning of fear or anything. And it was so stupid and kind of weird because after that, now whenever I see the movie, it diminished the movie a little bit for me. It looks a little bit faker to me than it did before, which is very weird. That's not how it's supposed to work. Not how I thought it was going to work.
I love when they embrace that stuff,
Yeah.
That's the way to go. Like, we know it's cheesy. Oh my God, yeah.
Little boomerang ships almost in a weird way. Oh, the stupid drums again. When you watch this thing in really super slow motion, you're like, man, they're bullies. You know what that does that ship remind me of a Robotech ship from the front? Is that what I'm thinking? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I think those ships were Force Awakens concept art, maybe. Wait. I can't get a good
Oh,
look at
yeah,
them.
okay, yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, I had like so many shit. I had all these ships leaked to me, and then like none of them were in the movie. I'm like,
Yeah,
but the wings are a little bit more like I don't know, arced than what I'm thinking of, maybe. But yeah, I think
yeah,
that might, or maybe it's just the same artist. But this is literally Phantom Menace shots right here. I mean,
yeah,
almost verbatim.
yeah.
There is more. I
Little
think
tweaked.
there is more details maybe on the ship. Maybe it
Yeah,
has more like so maybe the ships, when you take a closer look at them, are a bit different.
yeah. I can see like on the outskirts of the Trade Federation ships, there's some more like fiddly bits sticking out.
Right.
Yeah, so a little different.
Oh, it looks
Yeah,
like,
these little wings, these fins that are on the main body,
and
those
right
weren't
there's
there.
one of those like landers
Hmm.
that we saw in the Invasion of Naboo is right there too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So okay, yeah, they are a bit more different than I thought. So that's good. I like that. You know, same concept but up designed a bit, maybe.
yeah. Just mix it up a little.
Yeah, a little bit of light on the sides.
Yeah,
Lights.
that was the best
And
looking guy on that
drummers
ship.
again. Sorry. They just
Good,
keep
good.
going back to him.
No, that was the most disappointing thing about The Force Awakens, I think, is that you got the art book and you
Yeah.
saw all the cool concept art in there, and it's like, now we're just going to do a fucking shit desert planet again.
Oh wait, Johnny is here. How's it going, dude?
Ooh.
Let me get rid of that thing. Welcome on the show. Wait, can we hear you? I don't think we can hear you. Nope, can't hear you still. Can let me know if you could hear him, James, and I can't by some
I
weird thing.
cannot.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, I have this weird problem with like Melon sometimes
Yeah.
where it'll change whether my audio interface or my computer needs my headphones. Like
Nice.
today, I had Star Wars Santa on. Star Wars Santa came on, and then it changed in the middle of it. It just said, "You need to do that." But
I mean, I can kind of read lips, though. I think he said you need to go take a dump. So
yeah,
I think
he said
that's.
he
Yeah.
said I hate Star Wars. It makes me shit.
It's like, wait, this isn't Making Star Trek show? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm out.
Right. Yeah, he thought it was a show. MSW was about getting a degree.
Yeah.
MSW. Yeah, it makes sense.
Maybe just trolling us or something. I don't know. I'm like, well played, sir. Well played.
he thought we were the Mueller She Wrote podcast. I became friends with them because they were the other MSW, and when people would write MSW, they'd be like, "At the time about you or us?" I don't know, but I like your show.
It was very tempting the first time it came on to just come on and be like, like just pretend like to be super awkward and just be like,
Yeah.
hi.
Oh, hello. Do you like Star Wars too? Cool. James likes Star Wars, and I like Star Wars. I'm glad you guys are here in the chat with us. Okay, I can almost hear you.
I can hear something.
Wait.
Oh, better.
Wait, say something.
Is that better?
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Okay, yeah, I figured out. On my audio interface, it has like 8 inputs.
Right.
And Zoom and like internet apps like this, they only use like input 1 and 2. So
right,
to take it out of the back. Yeah, my bad.
How's it going, dude? Nice to meet you.
Not too bad. Yeah, nice to meet you too, man. What's the other guy's name? I'm so sorry I didn't catch
I'm James.
James, how's it going, man?
Yeah,
I've been a reader, Jason, of yours and a listener for a while. Ever since probably, I don't know, as soon as episode 7 got announced.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is like my way early 20s. Would have been like just 20 or 21, I think. So
yeah. Making me feel super old. No.
I was 20 years old then too. Yeah.
I'm a fellow musician, Jason. So
Ooh.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, what kind of interface do you have?
I have a Scarlett 18i20 3rd gen.
Yeah, I think
it's like a rack unit.
Yeah, we have one of those red one, the red one. I think it might be the 2nd generation one now.
Okay, yeah, the
Yeah.
one that's like two inputs sort of thing.
It's like the big rack one.
Oh,
Like
big rack unit.
the
Okay.
big, yeah.
Okay.
But right now I'm using the it's actually kind of corny. I bought like the amplitude people. I communicated that they
You
made
know those people, yeah.
they made a guitar input, and it has like a tone switch for guitar, which I was like, oh, that's really cool. I kind of like it, and so I got it so I can mess with tones and stuff. But in the big picture, it's kind of been a big pain in the ass.
So what do you use for your guitar? Like what amp? You just use like a VSTs or?
Yeah, actually, mostly I've just been using amplitude lately.
Okay.
Yeah, for that kind of stuff because I can't record live guitars for shit as a skill, and I don't have any
I
good.
can help you out
anymore.
with that, man.
That's good to know because
Yeah.
I
Nice.
get
Yeah, I use I have a Kemper. I got a Kemper profiler.
I want one of those so bad. I have this like dream where I get one and I go into Guitar Center and I just start emulating all their amps and they're like, stop. And I'm like, no.
That's
No.
that is the dream. You can totally do that. You could just roll in there, right? And just profile the amps. But honestly, it's one of those things, one of those pieces of gear you'll just have forever.
Right.
Nice.
Right.
Utility in the hands.
I didn't even know those existed until like maybe like 2 years ago. I was reading this interview with St. Vincent, and she was talking about how she bought all of the Kempers off of 9 Inch Nails, and she was like they're so good because I don't have to spend any money when I tour now. Like it used to cost me like $10,000 in shipping.
The utility, like people would just lug around tube amps and their cabinets and the whole rack unit. And I agree with people that maybe like digital processing wasn't there a couple years ago.
Yeah,
but now it is. There's no difference.
Yeah,
right.
And honestly, it's a little bit better because we can tweak every single part, right? We can really get into the nuance of the tone. So
yeah, well, that's what's crazy was I was pretty much like wanting to be a punk rock music snob. That's like I'm all about analog and like I want to do it right, but you know what? I spent as a in my early 20s, I had or late teens, I had my gas station job, worked my ass off and bought a Fender Twin Reverb. And when I listened to the recordings I did with it, because nobody recorded it or mic'd it well for shit, it didn't matter. And I emulate that shit on my Amplitude Fender little profile I got, and it sounds better than anything I ever did back then.
And Jason, like the general public has no idea what the difference between Amplitude and a 1970s Marshall Van Halen. Like nobody knows.
Right.
Nobody
knows.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even flip it on its back. Like I was talking about this with a friend who I think I lost them in the conversation. I don't think they agreed necessarily or just lost them. But I was like, it used to be punk rock because you were doing what anybody can do. And so back then, 3 chords and whatever you had was all it took. Play with your heart, man. And then you had something, right? But today there's not a punk rock excuse for not making pet sounds. But with the punk rock attitude, there's no fucking excuse for it anymore because it's all there at your fingertips. Like you're just being intellectually lazy and saying, I don't want to learn.
That's really true. I've never thought of it that way, but it is true. You have to be things like hockey or like any other sport. Like over time, like the players get better, so it's hard to compare them to people in the past. Mm-hmm. And like that's the same now, or with any like discipline, especially in music. Like you have to be more informed as a musician and educated in music theory to be able to make music these days.
Yeah. So I got rid of all my amps. I have one practice amp that I kept because then Rocksmith came out. Right. And I have a badass home theater. I have a super high-end home theater. And so plugging my guitar in through Rocksmith it was like, in order to emulate this, I would have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on musical equipment. And I'm not touring with a band, so I'm not doing that. So this is as good as I'm going to get to that on a budget.
Yeah.
So I don't even use any amps anymore except for that.
I bought the original Rocksmith like years ago, and it had the latency was so bad I couldn't even play it, and then I never touched it again.
You had to hook it up through analog. If you tried to do a digital connection, the latency was horrible. Yeah, so if you did an analog connection, you're fine.
Right.
To be fair, that the latency issue with VSTs is still there. If you go DI through your interface, there's still a small amount of latency.
Yeah.
But the quality really is there.
Yeah, well, with the ability to fix timing and stuff like that today, you could kind of get over it just to some degree, anyways. But like all of the this I'll try to bring this discussion into Star Wars for everyone else. Like
Juan Williams,
yeah, it's like it completely. I mean, I think that like when you look at what you can do with music now, and when you can look at the price of cameras. I mean, they were going to make Star Wars Underworld with DSLRs with expensive lenses that were essentially
looks terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
No, in the big picture, I'm glad that we started with Mandalorian.
Yep.
Now, you didn't at the time though. I was like, I want more Star Wars, man.
Yeah.
But with all that said, somebody eventually, I hope, makes something at the level of this trailer or Star Wars independently.
I really wanted to get into that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's I mean, why can't you at this?
I'm working on it.
Are you?
I've got a project, and I've got a guy that works with Maya, the software that's kind of like the industry standard.
Not the lady down the street, but the software. Got it.
Well, her too. I mean, yeah. But I think Unreal Engine is such an accessible platform now that I'm kind of looking for somebody else to work with that knows Unreal Engine, just because it's so much more of a user-friendly kind of. Mine is a great software program. It's the top of the chain, but it's like you're kind of limiting yourself if you use that software.
Yeah.
You have a composer for the music?
I do not.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Ooh, hell yeah. Okay. There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. We're making a movie now. I'll be the Gary Kirk. Yes. I don't know how movie making works.
You could be Marshall Lucas.
Yeah. I'm going to need tons of lumber. So I need you to price that out for me.
Oh, if I didn't tell you guys anything that happens on the show, I get 10%. That's just a thing. I always say that. If you watch the show, that's the rules, and that's what I always say.
Hey, it's the toys.
Yeah. As my producer, is inflation a thing right now? Am I cool?
Oh, inflation is really bad right now, so let's use 2015 figures for your movie. That'll make sense. All right.
You're hired.
I'm hired. YouTube, why do you have to pixelate every time I want to get a close up of the stupid little baby ships?
Yeah, right.
That does look cool though.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's some different ships there.
Ooh.
I don't know what those ones are, but okay. Oh, it's very Galaga. I feel like I'm about to shoot some shit in Galaga right now.
Seriously, it looks like they kind of like the hyperspace rings attached to it. I don't know. It's weird.
Do you think this looks a little Star Trek? Those ships. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a bad quality. Specifically, the ships over the water. I think in like the harbor.
Yeah, a little bit.
Romulan, sort of, or whatever that race is. It looks cool though. I like it.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Whoever said that they might have the hyperspace rings on. It might be like the Jedi Starfighters, and they might have the hyperspace rings attached because they are coming out, and maybe that's
the look I'm getting.
Yeah,
and I think this is probably all borrowed a lot from the concept art already. So if we comb through our books, we'd probably find most of this stuff in there.
It's probably been released in the High Republic stuff where they show like a bunch of boring stuff that we've seen so far.
Who's the director of the movie like Witch and Midsummer?
That's who I said. Robert Eggers.
Is that who that is?
The Witch. That's Robert Eggers did The Witch. Midsummer. Who was that?
Like Hereditary. Like it has this sort of like independent film look to it that I really like. Really artistic. The cinematography is really nice.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like if they're going to do Sith, that's kind of like who they need to peg.
Super interested in these guys because like some of their qualities, I don't know, it reminds me of like the Red Sith race from the EU sort of thing.
I want this guy to not be able to breathe and to stick his head out of a car.
Yeah, this is the guy that needs that helmet to breathe on every planet. Like he's like, I wish I flossed last night. Jeez.
He's all, have you seen my fucking nose? That's what, of course I can't breathe.
That is not a very that nose doesn't carry very much utility.
That's Voldemort's brother.
You just jam the cocaine in it.
Here comes the Urukai.
All right.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Rob's ASMR streams at night that he does when he's drawing for 2 viewers. Shout out to the ASMR streams.
Right. Yeah. Rob is probably sleeping right now, but tomorrow we'll get his thoughts on this. And also Rob is going to cover himself in black motor oil and recreate this scene for us in live action tomorrow.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. You know how there's always that guy who thinks that every black person in Star Wars is related. I wonder who the guessing that is. Whose grandpa that is.
This is Lando's grandpa.
I think it's definitely Mace Windu's grandpappy.
You need to point out to Rob that this has a lot of David Lynch qualities to it.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat just said, yeah, Chris says Baron rises from the same black pool in Dune also.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it came to Dune, as that was getting ready to stop or to start moving forward, a ton of the people who worked on Star Wars worked on that. It's the same exact people. Like,
sure,
I mean, it's essentially the same crew in a lot of ways too. And so it wouldn't surprise me if it's coincidental to some degree.
Yeah.
Somebody was drawing that kind of stuff over and over again because it was their jam, and then it ends up in both. But I read Dune about 10 years ago now, and I don't remember if that kind of stuff was described in the book or if that was stuff that the film takes liberties with. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that you guys have discussed on this podcast, I don't know if Rob brought it up or who it was, but the creative process that George Lucas sort of thought that he was starting with the prequels of like conceptualizing things visually before I write the story.
Yeah.
That's one of the most exciting things about Star Wars to me personally. I love looking at fan art. I love sort of daydreaming about what that could be, listening to music and like coming up with story, like walking around vaping or something. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that a lot of the people that work on Star Wars like are with everywhere in every kind of creative process. They're just like kind of like up in their own sort of thing, and they're not opening themselves up to the ideas of other artists.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think that this does not suffer from that issue. The trailer that we just watched, it looks like the people that are working on this game really took a look at everything that the artists were conceptualizing, and that's why it's really exciting for us. Because look at all the like cool sort of ideas that we're getting out of this.
Yeah, I whenever like right now, and this is like literally not me making a comment. It's like a true like I wonder if what they've done in this trailer, does it carry across in a 2-hour like movie? Does it carry across in a game of that size, or does it get really tired really quick? Because like a lot of times when these kind of movies come out, like what was that one? Like there was that one movie with like Matt Damon, like that space movie with like Matt Damon. I remember seeing like trailers for it. It looked very spacey, and I'm like, this looks cool.
Elysium,
stuck on Mars.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
then,
okay.
Yeah, and then like as I'm watching it, I'm like visually, this movie it exhausted itself in the trailer.
Yeah, your idea of the movie is kind of like here when you see the trailer, and then when you watch it, it's like, oh, this movie is like this. It's like
yes,
in like 3 rooms. Like,
well, it's anybody that knows kind of something about the movie making process. What's really disappointing is sometimes you're watching a movie, and you can just kind of feel where they cut because of budget production issues. Like, oh, they wanted to go here, they wanted to do this, but that was going to cost a shit ton of money. So
yeah.
And if you kind of look for that stuff, if like, especially with TV, and that's the one thing, like what was kind of interesting is, George Lucas brought all those people in to do Underworld, to do like what they do 100 scripts. And he said, don't worry about what you write. We'll figure it out. because there is definitely an art form to writing for TV, because you work in unlimited budgets and you have to be able to know your limitations and write around that. So that's the real challenge of, like, when you write a movie nowadays, especially, you can just write whatever the hell you want. When you're writing for TV, you got to think, I can't do X, Y, and Z. I've got to fit my story into this. That's why most of, like, your TV shows, they happen in like 2 rooms. In Seinfeld, it takes place in Jerry's apartment and at the coffee shop. That's it. You know, and you got to be, it's like writing a play. I mean, you're so limited and confined to what you can do. And sometimes when you watch and you can see and you could feel that, it's just like, oh my God, they probably had something really good, but man, it's totally fucked now. Because
that's why I like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Way better.
Oh my God, one of the greatest.
Yeah,
it
really is.
But what James was just talking about, that reminds me of, as a musician or as a composer, I can never listen to music and just enjoy it anymore. I'm constantly analyzing it. Constantly.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it's funny when you have that an analytical eye about, or ear for that matter, about something like that, and then you very first start like dating someone and they're completely enamored with your knowledge, but by the end of the relationship they fucking hate you for it. They're like, you don't enjoy anything, and it's just like,
why are you gonna ruin it? My girlfriend's probably here somewhere. You know? Who you gonna fucking ruin it? I like that movie. Why you gotta shit all over it? Yeah, well, that's what I do.
You don't enjoy anything.
Just become bitter and old.
Hey, by the way, Jason, have you seen you probably have the, I think it's SC-38, the New Hope, Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi remake battle?
Yeah.
Where it was like the updated like fight scene on the Death Star. Yeah.
You should react to that.
Okay. Yeah. I saw it once, like a long time ago. I haven't watched it since it came out, probably.
I like it. I like it. It's a little over the top for me. Like, they just need to kind of just pull it, because that was like my whole problem, even with like Revenge of the Sith and that last battle. The Phantom Menace is still the gold standard with the Maul Obi-Wan. And the Phantom Menace, Revenge of the Sith, to me, it was like too choreographed and too over the top. And then the clip that you're referring to with the remake of the Obi-Wan Vader fight, it's like, okay, it's cool. There's definitely parts of it that's like, that's badass. It's totally what they should have done in the movie. And then there's parts like, okay, bring it back down a little bit.
I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for it.
Yeah. Does the original one annoy you now, or do you just like how far they were able to
No, I just like how far they were able to go. I think that if George Lucas had the technology to do it, it would have been different, obviously. But I still enjoy the original. Like, again, so I'm born in 1995. Boy.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So no, but I still saw the original trilogy before I saw the prequel trilogy, and I still remember bits of that. So I always loved Return of the Jedi. I think Empire is still second for me. I don't know. I just love the bridge scene with Vader and Luke. Is, to me, when like Vader has Luke's lightsaber and he turns it on, like that right there is quintessential Star Wars for me. That's my favorite Star Wars scene of all time. I love that. I want more of that all the time. Just like that. I don't know. They just have such a connection. You know how difficult it must be as father and son to be in the same room like that. Vader knows he's already kind of fucked. You can't do anything. And the truth is that, like, Luke, you don't understand like what the Emperor can do to me or to you. Like, I'm in this suit. If he shoots me with electricity, it's gonna hardwire. It's gonna be fucked up. He did it purposefully. Like, it's a whole thing. So
he does this thing where he erases my firmware, and I feel real stupid and can't breathe.
I gotta sit in a Bacta tank for 4 weeks every time something happens.
The Emperor just had some compromising photos of Anakin. It's actually the actual thing that he's talking about.
It's literally
I know what you used to do with C-3PO.
No, it's his burnt dick in a box. They picked it up off the Mustafar ground. And this was like, you're going to do what I say, or I'll put this on a hologram over the whole galaxy. Like,
so Anakin made some modifications to that suit.
Larry Flint style. Like pumps it up. So Johnny, what was your end to a Star Wars? Like what got you hooked? I'm always interested in like your generation's kind of entry point, because mine is weird. Like I'm like at the end of Return of the Jedi, so I'm like barely a kid, barely an adult when Phantom Menace comes out. You know what I mean? And but I'm like also like really young for an original trilogy kid.
Wait, I'm 46, and you can describe me that way now. So I mean, I don't think it has to do with age.
Okay, so I think that the scene that I remember the most, or that's you know, just is sort of in my mind's eye all the time when I think about Star Wars, is Luke looking at the binary sunset. And I think the thing that really pulled me into Star Wars more than anything, to be honest, is the music.
Right.
And just obviously the hero's journey, the young guy, Luke, but really that father-son connection, whatever it was about that really drew me in. It was like this drama that I had never seen before in such a cool way, right? With like laser swords and the Force and all the things that we love, the mysticism in Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, if there's something that is more than anything, it's the visuals, the cinematography, and the music.
Well, how old were you? Like do you have like your first?
I honestly would have been like 4 or something. Like I don't know, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
I don't have a definitive first memory, but like the thing that I know that it really has pulled me, and like as an adult, it's more of the story that's pulled me in, and understanding the hero's journey and the tragedy, the father, son, the family, and whatnot. But as a young person, it was really the visuals and the music that drew me in more than anything.
Yeah. Like I used to wonder for a time, because all of the I would say there probably wasn't a Gen Xer who did not have a problem with their parents. And so there was a time when I used to wonder, I'm like, does Star Wars work so well because everybody has problems with their parents? You know what I mean? Like, and like, in a weird way though, whether you have real problems or just the problems like growing up, kind of shit that isn't really truly a problem, just natural, normal shit. I do think that it definitely plays into the heart of it, but you don't appreciate that until you understand it when you're, a little bit older.
To you, or you see it happen to somebody else, and you're like, hey, I can identify that now. I saw that somewhere else before.
I had a professor that had an interesting take on the whole hero's journey. And I think it's kind of where it kind of does resonate with a lot of different people through, and not just Gen Xers, but different generations too. Basically, that the hero's journey is that the world that your parents have told you about is a complete lie. And you go out into the world and discover that. And you come back to the community with that knowledge, and you bring that into the world. And so I think there's a lot of that. Like, Luke is, my uncle told me that my dad was just a navigator, and, and all that stuff. And he goes out, no, your dad was this. No, this is not how the world really works. And it's kind of this eye-opening experience of, as a, someone going into adulthood, going out into the real world and discovering, oh, this is what the real world's really like. And incorporating that into who you are, and then how you relate to the community.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and it cuts across. The one interesting thing with there was a documentary not that long ago where they interviewed like Nancy Pelosi and Newt Gingrich about Star Wars, and here you have two complete polar opposite viewpoints in terms of whatever and whatnot. And they all can understand the point of Star Wars.
That Newt Gingrich, that Newt Gunray was the main character, and he was a hero.
He's like, I was in the movie. Those Neimoidians totally misunderstood. People don't understand what the Phantom Menace is really about.
Chris, you're right, Chris. The Dune teaser poster is literally the same as Eclipse. And Eclipse, you're right, it is. I thought I saw that somewhere before, but yeah, I had a professor in college. My degree is in American Studies, and I had one of the really very nice man for the most part, but very old teachers who was like old American Studies, meaning my side of it was more anthropology of America. I was more like an urban ethnography was kind of where my heart was. But this guy's all about the paintings of James Fenimore Cooper. and oh, look at the mountains.
What the fuck is that? Sorry, I'm Canadian.
Yeah, is that James Fenimore Cooper was a painter, and when you look at how he painted like the mountains, it was very, very manifest destiny. Like the mountains had a cathedral like quality to them, and it was about white people colonizing and taking over, and he was very much on the level, but it was very dry and boring kind of shit. And one fun part of the class is he made us read Louis L'Amour novels. We had to read 10 Louis L'Amour novels because they're all the same fucking book over and over again, and we had to like break down the structure of the Louis L'Amour novel, and you can kind of see these things that played over and over again. In the middle of that class, though, he brings up that he's all, honestly, Star Wars isn't a Western. And he like gave all of the reasons why. And then I was like, well, it's not. I do agree with you but it's an amalgamation of genre. And so if you skew that one way, I can make the same argument that it is a Western, depending on what you emphasize in it. Yeah. And we kind of went back and forth on it. And then my next paper, he's all, I would like you to comment on that in the paper. So I comment on the paper, and I get my paper back, and it's an A-/B+. And I'm like, what the fuck does this mean? And he's like, it means whatever I want it to mean at the end of the class. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I was right though. I was right. And he knew it. He knew it. But he was a nice guy. Nice guy overall. But yeah. So Chris is pointing out a lot of Dune vibes. Drummers.
Do you have it the thing to pull up so I can see it?
Which
is it? Just the whatever he's talking about, the Dune poster or in the Eclipse one?
No, I don't have it. I've seen it though. It's the basic like teaser poster. Yeah. It's just like if you just type in, I'm sure Dune teaser poster or whatever is probably it.
Okay. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. But yeah, video games. I feel like video games have always ripped off other cinema, but this is so close. I don't know. Do you? I wonder if this. I wouldn't put it past anything, especially with video games. You know.
I think it's just because it's so close to it, and it's like in the public consciousness right now. People might associate it together and then think has something to do with Dune and buy it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess with it being so close, is Star Wars ripping off Dune in this instance? I know we can say they always have, but I mean, ripping off the 2021 film that just came out. Is it? Is
the poster? I mean, I don't. Even if it was, it's like, It's just a random poster. I don't know. Like, obviously, it's a powerful and popular aesthetic right now. I mean, Dune can't be the only thing that has that Eclipse sort of aesthetic that's been going on.
Yeah. Well, there's that meme that was going around. It was a picture. It was a poster from The Force Awakens, the poster for the live adaptation of Aladdin. And God, I forget what the third movie was. But they're all done in that exact same style, same color scheme. And someone's like, dude, I can't wait to see this trilogy. But yeah, if you look at them like from afar, it looks like all three of them are from the same saga or whatever. And like, oh no, it's just this same artist doing the exact same shit 3 times.
Right.
That's what they do.
It happens often. It does happen often. Whenever something's popular, like you'll have a follower aesthetic that goes on with it.
Like Bush rips off Nirvana, you know.
Oh man, don't get me started. It's not the same. It's not the same.
No, of course.
I like when you watch like Rick Beato like breaking down like heart-shaped box, and he's like right here, Kurt's going into the 7th, and it's like, yeah, Kurt had an ear, but that's he's just doing that.
Yeah,
that's just intuition.
Yeah,
and also why I think he hit a huge roadblock, amongst other things. But at the end of his career, where he's like, I have writer's block and I can't do anything.
It's because he doesn't know the map. He doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Well, some of the bad Eddie Van Halen. He was all over the fucking place, and he didn't know a damn thing.
Yeah,
I pull it off.
No, I find like, I mean, not that I am in any way like those guys at all, but like I don't really know that much. But whenever I do start learning theory stuff, I'm like, yeah, I already know. I figured that out. Like, I figured that out. Yeah, I get it. like a lot of that stuff. Like, it is kind of weird what you already know and don't know that you know. Kind of.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was Johnny, are you, if you're not, it's okay. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Are you like super
Johnny on the
versed
spot.
in Johnny on the spot? Johnny on the spot. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Are you super like versed in like in John Williams' work though, and like how all of the nuances of that shit? Like I always find it like interesting, like the opening crawl. Like I think it's in like B flat for the prequels.
I don't know this. No.
Okay. Yeah, like
I think it's an A.
if we just take like all of the opening crawls like together, like they change, and I heard that the main theme changes depending on what it needs to land on when the film starts.
Okay.
So like eventually John Williams, like if he needs the opening of the movie to be like an A, he might put it in B flat, so he just slides down, into that very easily.
Yeah.
And but the prequels all use the same one, but I think like Empire and the original versions, Empire was the first one to change it, I think. But yeah. I always wanted to know more about that stuff. So I was just curious if you knew about that kind of.
I didn't know about that, but it sounds like the sort of like arbitrary decision that a musician might make, that they just like the touch, that they like that. That's what we love about John Williams.
Yeah,
I know that
it's very wise to make that decision.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he did not have a full orchestra on A New Hope, or was more limited on that one than it was on any of the other movies. Like and I might be mistaken on, but if I do recall reading something about that there wasn't quite as much of a production value with A New Hope, and that's why there might be a difference between those.
Because I know it was the London Symphony Orchestra, but maybe it was like the bare bones. Like he doesn't have like the extra percussion and that kind of shit that you might want.
It's the understudies.
Good musicians are expensive, man.
Right?
Yeah.
And rightfully so,
Oh yeah, no, I'm all about those cats getting paid. I mean that stuff lives on technically forever, and they profit off of it forever. I mean, it's one of the things that doesn't necessarily go out of style, I mean, you have like your like cheesy synth scores for like the Tangerine Dream version of Legend, and you're like, this, but it's badass.
One of my favorite cheesy synth scores of all time is in the movie It Follows.
It Follows.
One of the greatest. Oh my god, the synths, man! The trailer for that movie is so good.
Yeah. I need to watch it again. I haven't seen it since it came out.
By the way, will you get demonetized if I vape?
Oh no, it's okay. Go ahead. He has asthma. I'm
tripping balls right now. So
I'm a little high right now too.
Yeah, I'm on PCP. Let's go.
Hey Max.
Oh Max, what up, Max? Shout out to Max.
Yeah, love Max. Yeah, I really dig the score to Lady Hawk. It's so bad that it's fucking rad. Like, have you ever seen that movie, Johnny, by any chance?
No.
It's kind of bad good. It's Richard Donner, and it's like a wizard puts a spell on these lovers and makes it where she's a hawk, I think, at night, and then he's a man. But when she turns into a woman, he like, was he turned into a dog? Like a wolf or some shit? It's been a while. Yeah, but basically like that, right? And then like Matthew Broderick comes in and he's like the fool, like the RPG character, the role-playing game kind of dude, kind of vibe to it. But it has a synth score. And like if you get super stoned and you just turn up the music on Lady Hawk and you watch it, you'll be like, fuck yeah, this is an adventure. This is a
MIDI roll, Jason. I'm listening to it right now. This is just like a MIDI.
Yeah, it's fucking cool as shit.
And MIDI soundtrack.
Yeah. No, it's a straight up like synth MIDI, like one guy with the keyboard.
It's just atonal. This guy doesn't even know what he's doing. He's like,
no, he just jams out, dude. But there'll be like parts where he like,
oh, this is
like
good
a
now.
horse.
Wait, this is like Knight Rider now.
It gets into it's like I said, it's so bad it's good.
It's kind of like Ross from Friends playing the keyboard in that one episode. It's very apropos. Yeah,
it's like, here's the ARP setting, and if I just hold this, it sounds like I'm doing a bunch of stuff.
Okay, now it's like Chrono Trigger right now. This is pretty good.
It's fun. It's like I said. It's yeah.
I thought you were off the rails again for a sec.
I do think that Lady Hawk is such a badass concept that it should be remade at some point. Usually, I'm like, B movies don't need to be remade, but that one, it kind of, there's parts of it I love and parts of it that just were never really that high quality of a movie. But the premise is so strong.
That's what Hollywood should be remaking: is bad movies with good premises.
Yeah,
like a good concept, but it was horribly executed.
Yeah,
like, hey, let's do this shit right.
That's Lady Hawk is a great example of that.
There you go.
100%. I mean, even I love They Live too, obviously, but They Live is another one where that premise is strong enough that you could retell that with new spins and strong ways,
Yeah.
But Roddy Piper nails it, so whatever.
I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
Yeah. But yeah, Max agrees that Lady Hawk is cool. Max knows.
Max says it's cool.
Yeah. But anyways, I have to get going, you guys, because it's 7:33 here, and I did not intend to be doing a stream for 2 hours again. This is my 4th hour of podcasting today.
Yeah.
My drummer just texted me, Eclipse looks like the Star Wars Harry Potter crossover we've all been waiting for with Larry Voldemort. I don't. Maybe he means Lord. Whatever. Yeah.
Larry.
That's his brother.
Larry Voldemort.
Got champagne. Larry Voldemort's great.
But good stuff. But hey, Johnny, it was great meeting you and having you on the show, dude. Whenever you want to come and hang out, man, just let me know. Open invite. Love to have you on.
Man, I love this. And James, don't forget, man, we're gonna be doing a little bit of Star Wars creative mysteries together or whatever. Jason, you too. Jason, you too. 100%.
Do it. Hey, if you need barcodes, I could do barcodes.
Yeah.
I got.
Don't tell anybody what it is, but check out the Instagram that I sent you.
Okay. Okay.
That's my Instagram, but yeah. I don't want to dox myself yet.
Yeah, I will send you. I will follow it.
Yes. Okay, guys. I will see you guys soon, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, dude. And nice to meet you, bud.
Yes, you guys too. All right. Later, everybody.
All right. Everybody, thanks to everyone who's a channel member on the show. Everybody supports the show on the YouTube.com machine, and Patreon, and all that shit. And I will see you guys tomorrow with Rob. We'll get Rob's take. Is Rob going to be a little pissy pants? I don't know. It's High Republic. Or is it going to be like, whoa, I was totally wrong. Everything's so cool now. I don't know. What do you guys think? Check out tomorrow when we go over this shit again and with fresh eyes, because boy, have I talked about Star Wars a lot today. But always nice to hang out with you, James. And
likewise,
whenever you're free, man, open invite too. Whatever you want to come on, I always love to have you. Always gonna hang out.
Much appreciated, sir.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right. And Max, I'll talk to you soon. Everyone else,
thank you.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.
It's not about spaceships.